Hello and welcome to the Culture Swally, a podcast dedicated to Scottish news and pop culture. My name is Nicky and I'm joined as always by the man who used to emulate Charles Sheen by driving a Lotus Esprit, drinking in the toll booth and getting kidnapped when trying to buy cocaine in Easter House in the late 90s. It's Greg. How are you today, buddy?
Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm okay. Like today's movie just obviously brings up a lot of mid to late 90s memories. It's just a different time, wasn't it, in a lot of ways?
It does. I mean, listeners, if this is your first episode, this is going to be quite a Charlies Sheen heavy episode and a lot of late 90s references, a lot of drug stuff, you know. It's okay. Come with us on the ride. We're not normally like this, but we've got our Charlies Sheen on this episode. How are you today, buddy? You all good?
Oh, I'm okay. I mentioned before we started recording that I've joined a new gym. I'm on a bit of I've been on that. I hate using the expression journey, but for want of a better word, I've been on a bit of a fitness journey for the last couple of years, mainly running. But I thought I joined a local gym just down the road because they had tennis courts or a tennis court, and the gym is not great. You know, the facilities aren't very good. The lockers don't work. They don't give you any towels or anything. You got to take your own stuff. And the tennis court is starting to look like fucking Mario Land because it's just raising up. You know what I mean? It's just like whatever. You know, because it's obviously they build everything on sand here, don't they? And things shift, and you know this. So before I went on holiday, I was signing into the gym one day, and I said, and I'd only signed up for 3 months just because I didn't want to get tied in case I didn't like it, and I wasn't enjoying it. But I said to them, is there any plans to level the tennis court maybe over the summer when it's not being used so much? And she said, no, we're actually getting rid of the tennis court and we're going to move the swimming pool there. And that's kind of made my mind up. So I thought, well, fuck them. So I just let my membership expire and I've joined a lovely new gym. But all I was doing in the previous gym was going on the running machine. That's all I was doing. So I thought, well, if I'm going to join, I'll use some of the other equipment. So I won't just run. I'll do some, you know, I don't even know what the different bits of equipment are called, but I'll use them. And so like I was doing sort of one, you know, where you kind of pull it down.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, because I don't have any gym bros to tell me what these things are called or how many reps I should do or anything like that, you know what I mean? So anyway,
I'm fucking useless in that department as well, so I can't help you there. So sorry about that.
I need to get some gym bros, but or sisters. But anyway, all this is to say that my arms are quite painful today, just with stiffness. But I had a nice day out on Friday morning. Like I went in early-ish, I had a run, I ran 10k, I did some of the other equipment, I got changed, I went for a wee swim in the pool, got a nice pool outside, and then they've got like a kind of jacuzzi, so I sat in that for a bit, and then I had a shower at the gym, which I never usually do. I would just go home, but I used the gym showers, which were nice and clean, and felt really pleased with myself.
Nice. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely.
I just wanted to try and maintain it, get into a good habit, you know.
Yeah. No, I think that's important. It's very good. Yeah. Oh, so lovely stuff.
I can get buff.
Have you been enjoying did you watch any of the coverage of the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony or anything? I saw clips online, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
I've watched some highlights. My friend's daughter, very, very good dancer. I've known her, she's friends with my daughter since they were wee, and she is in it. And I watched some of the highlights to try and spot her, but the highlights that were on YouTube were mainly your man out of Outlander fucking around with a model Nessie, the king and the queen emerging from a TARDIS, and just the athletes kind of wandering around and waving and stuff. So I was hoping that the BBC iPlayer would have the whole thing, then we could watch it, but it doesn't. Unfortunately. So I'm hoping that our mum posts, or maybe our mum will have like some videos. Our mum's like our biggest fan, as you'd expect.
Oh, okay, of course.
Always posting videos and photographs of her in her competitions and things. So no, I didn't. I only saw bits of it. What I will say is what I saw was a lot better than the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony hosted by John Barrowman in 2014. And it really made me. It made me remember, like, Rab Florence tweeted during that. He said, his tweet said, "Imagine every time you looked under a kilt, John Barrowman was there. Sorry, wedding's off." So it just really reminded me of that.
The only clips I've really seen have been Grado dressed as a Tunnock's tea cake. And
yes,
I've been seeing a lot of that, but I think he was the warm up for the main ceremony. So
right.
It was him and shapeshifter Des Clark, and they were doing some sort of entertainment to get the crowd warmed up with Grado dressed as a Tunnock's tea cake. And I don't know, I was just like, oh, really? Okay. I think it's because we've had such a summer of Scottishness. And how proud we are of, and it's been all kilts and bagpipes. And if honest, I'm like, okay, I've kind of had enough now. I'm kind of
get all tartaned out.
Have a wee break. And this is a Culture Swally, a podcast about Scottish culture. Hi. But yeah, I don't know. So I have seen clips about it, but I haven't watched too much. But yeah, I'll probably watch some. And it's nice. It's good to see. And, the focus on Scotland again. So it's all good.
I think because the last time it was at Parkhead. This time I think it was indoors. I think it was maybe at the cycling. There's like a velodrome that they built for the last Commonwealth Games, very close to Parkhead actually. I'm not sure where it was, but it looked like it was indoors. And what I saw, it felt a lot more tasteful than the original one. I mean, the original one stopped short of having like the bones of fucking Jimmy Logan being marionetted about the stage. You know what I mean? It was just so cheesy. Karen Dunbar she did a turn in it as well. Just wasn't very. And Lulu was there. Lulu doing her best Scottish accent, which just sounds like she's doing a pretend Scottish accent these days. You know what I mean? Because she's spent the last 60 years making herself understood to the rest of the world. So yeah, it seemed a bit more tasteful. There was a whole thing about, seemingly back in the day before mobile phones and stuff, you would arrange to meet under the clock at Central Station, Glasgow Central Station. Yeah. So they did a little number about that, and they also obviously they did Yes Sir I Can Boogie. Yeah. Very good. Bit of dance numbers, but yeah, no, it's good, and it looks like the Scottish athletes are equipping themselves quite well. I saw Eilish McColgan broke a record yesterday, and won a race. Yeah, it was the cross country, I think she won. And it's good. And I think a Scottish swimmer won a gold as well. Ah, good. I was looking this morning. So yeah, it's always good. Excellent. Yeah, always. The city will feel good. It was a nice atmosphere. I was still living in Glasgow the last time, and it was a nice atmosphere when the games were on.
Yeah, just a nice show. The city kind of gets into it, and everyone's involved and feels part of it, and it's lovely. It's a nice atmosphere. It's been nice to see the coverage, so it's good. Yeah. Some good news coming out of Scotland. Yes. But speaking of which, shall we have a look at some other news that's been happening in Scotland over the last couple of weeks?
Cue the jingle.
Hello, this is the Outer Hebrides Broadcasting Corporation, and here is what's been going on in the news.
Okay, Greg, what have you seen in the news that you'd like to share with me and our lovely listeners?
Well, my first story is related to the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, lovely.
And it's from a Daily Record on the 23rd of July, a few days ago. And the headline reads, Commonwealth Games sex warning as nurse reveals STI surge after Glasgow last hosted the Games in 2014. A sexual health clinic saw a spike in patients and sexually transmitted infection diagnosis after the 2014 Games, as experts urge athletes and visitors to pack condoms and get tested if needed. So as thousands of athletes and fans descend on Glasgow for this year's Games, experts are urging competitors, visitors and locals to think about their sexual health by carrying condoms, getting tested after unprotected sex, and seeking treatment if they have any concerns. The warning comes just months after the Winter Olympics made the headlines, when the athletes' village reportedly ran out of free condoms within days, despite organisers distributing 10,000 to the competitors. Wow. I had no idea that the athletes' village was such a sexy place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Major sporting events have long gained a reputation for romances away from the field of play, with Olympic athletes openly describing villages as a hotbed of sex, and organisers routinely providing free condoms as part of public health planning. Now a Glasgow sexual health nurse who worked in a city clinic during the 2014 Commonwealth Games has spoken anonymously about the impact that the event had on services. The nurse said her clinic experienced a noticeable increase in demand following the Games, with more people attending for sexual health checks and more STI diagnoses being made. Meanwhile, Sarah Mullandwa, a senior sexual health nurse and sexual health expert, said planning ahead was just as important as packing sunscreen during a spell of hot weather. She said, planning ahead for your sexual health is no different from preparing for a heat wave. Carry condoms if you think you may need them. Know where to access healthcare and look out for your friends. Major sporting events bring thousands of people together, so it's sensible that sexual health services prepare for increased demand. The Commonwealth Games are an exciting opportunity for people from all around the world to come together, evidently have sex with each other, and celebrate sports that we want everyone to enjoy the event while looking after their health. She urged anyone who has had unprotected sex or a new sexual partner to get tested, adding, carry condoms if you think you may need them, get tested if you've had unprotected sex or you've got a new sexual partner, and seek advice promptly if you're worried about HIV exposure or needs emergency contraception. Looking after your sexual health is a normal part of looking after your overall well-being. Mullandwa said free condoms routinely handed out in athletes' villages were a public health measure rather than an encouragement to have sex. She said, the widespread availability of condoms at major sporting events isn't about encouraging people to have sex, it's about making it easier for them to make safer choices. The Winter Olympics was not the first time the condoms have run out. Organisers at Sydney 2000 had to order 20,000 more after their initial 70,000 allocation was all used up. During the Paris 2024 Olympics, athletes were left furious after anti-sex cardboard beds were installed.
What?
Olympic villages have a reputation for being sex mad, with athletes hanging socks on doorknobs as a universal symbol to go away. Former long jump star Susan Tidek previously told Build, sex is always an issue in the village. The athletes are at their physical peak at the Olympics. When the competition is over, they want to release their energy. So, I mean, I sort of understand, like, the adrenaline of, being a competitive athlete, and the adrenaline probably doesn't go away once the event finishes, right? So you try and burn it off in different ways. But yeah, I've never had an STI test in my life. Luckily never had occasion to go and get tested. Luckily, but yeah.
I'm the same. Thankfully, never had the need or the requirement. But yeah, I think it's a very good message to put out, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I could totally see that the athletes have, Plus, you're living in close proximity to all these athletes as well. Of course, if you're young, free and single, or even if you're not, you're going to have your end away, I presume. But
have your end away.
I do remember reading about this, the cardboard beds being installed to try and stop. But, well, you just find somewhere else to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Go on the floor. I was always like, I remember a friend of ours, someone who's known to both of us, caught chlamydia many years ago when I still lived in Aberdeen, and he just sort of put the fear in me I'm sure he said that he got like a little umbrella like stuck up the end of his cock or something like that. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
I remember hearing about that or reading about, that's what they did. Yeah. Little, that comes out and scrapes the inside.
Oh, no.
Was that Techno Job?
Yeah, it was, yeah. He caught it off a girl who was into the same sort of fashion as him. You know,
okay.
The old kind of emo thing. She used to wear a dog lead and get him to hold the leash. And
okay.
Well, I just couldn't be seen with them when they were doing that. They'd be like in a nightclub, and I remember he was going to the toilet and he said, "Will you hold the leads?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
So you had to hold the lead whilst he was having a piss?
Well, she had the lead on, so the dog. So it's not him. So he's just, so like we're in. I mean, of all the clubs that they could have been doing that in, we're in fucking Amadeus. And it was
oh my god!
It's been Christmas and New Year, and I was just like, someone. There's a good chance that somebody who knows me will see me. There's fucking no way I'm holding a girl on the end of a lead while you go to the toilet. It's fucking ridiculous. Just tie her to a chair leg.
Now, I don't think I knew this. I think I'd heard it, but I didn't know. This is just coming back to me. So what was he like walking down the street with her, holding her lead, and then in the club holding her lead, and was he like putting like her drink in a bowl and putting it on the floor, or
balancing chips on the end of her nose,
carrying poo bags around with him? I mean, I don't know. Like, what the fuck?
He used to live in Nottingham. Because he worked at there used to be, Games Workshop. They used to have a factory. Yeah. They had a factory in Nottingham, and you'll come as no surprise, he worked there for a while. His older brother got him the job there, because he was down there. And so she used to go out with like a friend, like his brother's mate or something, and they sort of got in touch online on like MSN or something. Her name was. She was a bit old. She was a bit older than old Techno Jock, and she came up a couple of times. One of the times that she came up, she gave him a dose of chlamydia. So,
okay. Did she come up on her alone? Like, was it like the littlest hobo, or was she allowed? She was shipped, have, like someone on the train,
shipped up
in a container,
in a kennel. Yeah, I mean, I only had exchanged very few conversations with her, and a couple of times she seemed nice. She seemed nice enough, like perfectly nice girl. You know what I mean? She's just a bit unusual and clatty.
Give her a wee pat and some dog biscuits, and off she goes. Nice.
Yeah. Really, really obedient. Always walk. You could take her off the lead. She'd walk at heel. She always came back when she was called.
Hey, whatever people get up to, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you enjoy yourselves. I think that's fine. So that's a great story.
It was fucking devastated when she broke up with him.
Oh,
yeah, it was devastating. Even after
giving him chlamydia.
I was like, you should have broken up with her. He was because he moved down to live with her in Nottingham, and he was there for maybe it wasn't long. It was like 6 weeks. Then he came back to come back. So
with his tail between his legs.
Tail between his legs. I will say that he's happily married now, and doing very well. God bless him. Anyway, that is the frisky athletes of the Commonwealth Games in 2014. What's your first story this week?
My first story is from Aberdeen Live this week, Greg, and the headline is Aberdeen Pizza Express withdrew staff merchandise after workers' swastika complaint. Yeah, 2026. A T-shirt created to mark Pizza Express's 60th anniversary had to be withdrawn after an Aberdeen employee complained that its design resembled swastikas, an employment tribunal has heard. Waiter Raymond Joseph made an official complaint about the merchandise, which he described as highly offensive to some ethnic and religious groups. The T-shirt and clothing range, which was set to be gifted to all employees to mark the pizza chain's birthday, was subsequently cancelled and replaced with another design. The tribunal heard that Mr. Joseph was working at a Pizza Express restaurant in Aberdeen when he raised the concerns with his colleagues. Posting on an internal social media feed called Slice. With a screenshot of the merchandise, he said, "Trigger warning. Has anyone seen the new designs for the team shirt and merchandise yet? Maybe these should be the new head office uniforms." It's obviously never consult with the workers who actually have to wear this garbage. He later added a comment to his post, saying the merchandise clothing looked like it had swastikas incorporated into the design. The restaurant's territory manager replied with a comment to Mr. Joseph's post, explaining the merchandise would be gifted to all employees to mark the 60th birthday and there was no requirement to wear it. The waiter was then told by his manager that he should remove the post because it was not a platform for complaints and criticisms, and any concerns should go through proper channels. He replied, "Yeah, I'd like to formally complain about the swastikas incorporated into the merchandise," before adding a further comment to his post saying, "Some of those designs do resemble swastikas and will be highly offensive to some ethnic and religious groups, hence my trigger warning." Mr. Joseph, who was later sacked over unrelated matters, took Pizza Express to an employment tribunal, claiming to be the victim of harassment related to race over a colleague's comments, detriment as a result of making protected... Oh, God knows. Anyway, the tribunal ruled that he had been the victim of harassment over the comments and handed him £5,400 in compensation. All of his other claims failed. So he's been sacked for an unrelated matter, apparently. But come on, this would have been a black mark against him to raise this. You know, there's some things you don't kind of, even if you feel about it, he's probably been sacked because of his comments. But it sounds like he's a bit of an arse anyway. But they don't have a photo of the swastika design, so I can't say for certain if it does. But yeah, just says that it does, but I can't say for certain, unfortunately.
Are the Pizza Express uniforms designed by Hugo Boss?
I don't know about that.
Because that makes all the mystery.
Have you ever had to wear a uniform that you found offensive or you didn't like or anything like that?
Sure. I mean, when I worked for Frankie and Benny's, before I was a manager, we all dressed like snooker players.
Yeah.
I used to kind of, I mean, as much as the Daytona and TGI Fridays uniforms, I think the Daytona uniform was nicer than the Fridays uniform was just a bit garish, wasn't it?
Mate, I had to wear a red and white stripy top, braces with at least 20 pieces of flair, aka badges on them.
Yeah.
And a funny hat. I'd have taken looking like a snooker player over that. I mean, I wore a fez purely because it was the smallest hat and I could put it at the back of my head. It was also because of Rashid Belabed and Hirachim Zerouali, who played for Aberdeen at the time, and they were Moroccan. So there was like an influx of fezes in Aberdeen because, it's the type of thing that we did.
Banter.
Yeah. Why not? It's banter. So, I wore a fez, which, it always went down well. But that was a fucking ridiculous uniform. Hated that.
Yeah, the Daytona uniform was a polo, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a bit more dignified.
Yeah, it was a colour-coded polo. So it was navy blue polos if you were a runner and a red polo if you were bar staff or a waiter. And then I think it later changed. It was like an all navy kind of with red trim. It was nice. It was all right. It was fine. It was just a polo shirt and you just had to wear black trousers and shoes and your little apron. But yeah, the TGI's was fucking horrific.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't have any swastikas on it.
That's true. And they've sort of gone tits up Fridays, haven't they, as well? So
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't like that uniform. I hated wearing a school uniform.
Yeah.
But then when I went to school in Mintlaw in Aberdeenshire, there was no uniform, which really pissed my mum off. I don't know how your mum felt about school uniforms. My mum was furious when she realised there was no... You could wear like a school jumper, which obviously she fucking made me wear, and a tie with a school crest on it, which she made me wear for the first, I don't know, sort of 6 months until I kind of wore her down, and I was just able to go in wearing whatever I wanted eventually. But it was like 6 months of really fucking wearing her down until she just cracked.
Yeah, no, I was my school was uniform, so I had to wear. I remember every fucking end of July, beginning of August, going to E&M's to get a new blazer, or, if the other, if I hadn't grown the previous one. But yeah, my school, I think by the time I'd got to like maybe third year, they had relaxed it a bit, so you could just wear a jumper if you wanted to. But
yeah.
I wore a full blazer every fucking day. I was
Did you?
Blazer and tie. Yeah.
Even in sixth year?
I don't think I even had a school jumper. Yeah, because once you got to fifth and sixth year, you had, it was called colours on your blazer. So you'd have like little ribbons depending on what you'd done. So like in fifth year, I got half colours. So I had like a grey band round the cuff of my blazer. And then in sixth year, I had full colours. Basically, the colours meant like you had excelled at something. So like a teacher had to nominate you for your colours, if that makes sense. So I had full colours for drama. Right. And so I had like piping round all the edge of my blazer. Fuck knows how long that took my mum to sew on. And and if you were a prefect, you had yellow round, and then head boy and head girl had like blue or something. So I wore my blazer. I quite liked it. It made things easier because you're just like, well, I know what I've got to wear every day.
Yeah, I got that. I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was just the sort of conformity part of it. I mean, when I was at school in England, like the first 2 years of high school, we had to wear like blue. It was like a blue blazer with a burgundy striped tie, blue shirt, grey jumper, and school trousers and shoes. And when we went into third year, you didn't have to wear a blazer anymore. You had to wear a burgundy V-neck school jumper with a white shirt and a burgundy tie. So it was like the first 2 years were in the lower school and the older kids were in the upper school. So that was a bit better. I didn't mind that so much. You know what I mean? It was just a good job. But I just hated wearing a blazer.
Yeah.
Although like a packet of 20 B&H does fit quite nicely in the inside pocket of a blazer.
It does, yeah, you're right. It does, yeah. It's quite handy. And those pockets at the front as well. And, they're good for holding stuff. Yeah. It was usually a packet of B&H.
When you worked at the hotel, did you not have to wear a blazer behind the bar?
No, it was a waistcoat.
A waistcoat.
So it was just a shirt, tie, and a waistcoat.
Right. I've got a sort. It must be a sort of a Mandela effect image of you in my mind wearing a sort of mustard coloured blazer.
No, definitely not. I don't think I've ever owned a mustard colour blazer. No, the Athol, it was a dark green waistcoat.
Right.
And then it changed in my time there to, I can't remember. I want to say it was a black waistcoat, but with like a salmon pink tie.
Right.
And I remember there being outrage about having to wear this tie amongst some people. And I was like, I like it. No, I never had to wear a mustard blazer. I don't think I've ever had a mustard blazer. No.
Those weird memories that you kind of make up, you know what I mean?
Don't know. Yeah. Never mind. Well, that is Pizzagate at Pizza Express in racist swastika Aberdeen. What else have you seen this week, buddy?
Well, this next story comes from Edinburgh Live, and the editor of the Edinburgh Live website has had the sense of humour to put it in the real life section of the news. And the headline reads, "Woman believes she's being haunted by a rude ghost after finding suspicious item. A woman has warned that someone could be living in the walls of her Edinburgh flat after she took to a popular online forum, as you do, to raise her concerns about being haunted by a rude ghost. The woman explained that she found underwear in her room that doesn't belong to her, and she lives alone. She sought the advice, I think he meant to say she sought the advice of fellow users, some of whom left their own theories. She wrote on Mumsnet, I live alone in a flat. I'm not good at keeping it too tidy, so I'm having a big New Year clean. I found a pair of black lacy knickers in my flat. 100% not mine. Believe they were picked up in a pile of clothes/blankets that was at the bottom of my bed, but honestly not 100%. I thought they looked like my sister's, who sometimes comes to stay, but she said they're not hers. I've asked my two friends who had access to my flat when I was away, not theirs. I have asked my friend who I was away with, not hers or her girlfriend's. I have a partner, but he's never in the flat without me as he lives elsewhere, before anyone thinks that he's cheating on me. I've messaged two other friends who both haven't been here for months. This is my only option, but I can't see how I would have missed them for so long, as I had a thorough bedroom tidy and move around not that long ago." She added, they look clean, thankfully, and waft of fresh washing. Oh, she's had a sniff of them.
Oh.
But they're clean. They waft of fresh washing, so I can't imagine they've been sitting around. Am I being haunted by some kinky ghost? Has a weird stalker had access to my flat? Do I have terrible memory loss and forgot what pants I own? And in the post, she admitted she felt like she was going mad and asked others for their reasonable opinion, unless they agreed that there was definitely a ghost or some other unexplainable explanation that you will never get to the bottom of until you get smothered in the night with further mystery lingerie. One suggested you picked them up accidentally in a changing room at a gym or swimming pool. Another added they're definitely either your sisters or your friends, but they're not admitting to it. And a third person added, someone's living in your walls. Obviously, reasonable explanation. And a fourth person added an even more concerning suggestion. They said, look for a secret hatch your perverted neighbour may be crawling through while you're away. Stuff of nightmares. So yeah, I mean, you know, my feeling about ghosts and such phenomena have been well documented on this podcast over the years. I think she's just looking for a bit of attention.
Yeah, do you think there's a reasonable explanation for this, Greg? That, yeah, something, maybe it's pants she's forgotten about, or pants that, like you say, she's picked up from the gym. Although, why would they be clean? That's a weird thing.
I think the reasonable explanation is that she's feeling a bit lonely and she's looking for a bit of attention. But, yeah, ghosts leaving knickers.
Yeah, it reminded me of something I saw. I think it was at the beginning of the article you'd said, the woman has said that she's not great at keeping her flat tidy or her house tidy and clean. I saw a post on Reddit yesterday, and it was a woman saying that she wants to clean out her wardrobe, but how she can't get motivated. How can she do it? And this first reply was this woman that said, what I did was I took all the clothes out of my wardrobe, I put it all on my floor in the lounge, and I basically went shopping. Like I picked out the items I wanted, like I liked, and anything else I got rid of. And the reply went, that means my floors would have to be clean. And I'm like, who the fuck doesn't have clean floors? Like, you've got bigger problems. You don't need to sort out your wardrobe. You need to clean your fucking floors. The next reply said, don't worry. What I did was I put a blanket down. And I'm like, how about you clean your fucking floor? That's the first thing. Like, why do you start there? And so, yeah. Anyway, it was like, wow, how some people live.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that just reminded me of this. I wondered if that was where it was going, that it was like dirty pants lying around that she'd found. But for them to be clean and laundered, but as you say, she's obviously sniffed them to know.
Yes.
So, I don't think I'd be sniffing a pair of pants I'd found lying around my flat.
No, definitely not. Even if I could identify them.
Yeah, no, not the nicest, but never mind. Oh, wow. So yeah, we think it's just just attention seeking.
Just a bit of, someone who's feeling a bit lonely. Anyway, that's my second story. What's your next one this week?
I'm going to take us back, Greg, to the 1990s. And I thought this was a very, very good story. This is from April this year in Glasgow Live. And the headline is, Remembering Charlie Sheen's Night of Drugs and Debauchery in Easter House in the 1990s. And I thought this would be quite fitting since we're going to be speaking about Charlie Sheen and this very film in this episode. Seldom has Glasgow witnessed a celebrity scandal as juicy as the time Hollywood star Charlie Sheen took a taxi to Easter House with a prostitute to score drugs. 25 years ago, the hotshots and future 2.5 Men actor was in Scotland for the filming of the movie. It says Obit here because it did have an alternative title. But we're going to call it Postmortem. When he became embroiled in a night of debauchery that won't quickly be forgotten. During downtime, Sheen, an actor who certainly has been no stranger to controversy over the years, hit the headlines in August 1997 for all the wrong reasons, following a night of clubbing in Glasgow city centre. The star's $1,000 night of shame began at legendary city night spot Chaos, where Sheen allegedly spent a fortune on booze at the club's VIP lounge. Keen to keep the party going after closing time, Sheen, who was dressed in a Hawaiian shirt and baseball cap, and a friend, flagged down a taxi at 2 a.m. and demanded to be taken to the city's red light district. After managing to track down a local sex worker, Sheen quizzed the woman about where he could buy drugs. The taxi driver that night recalled, "The girl got in and Sheen said he wanted some Charlie. So she said she could get it, but she had to make a phone call. Then her pimp came across and they went to a phone box. Sheen then handed over several $100s to the sex worker. I don't know if that would have been much use. And the taxi driver was told to take them to a housing scheme in Easterhouse, where they were going to pick up some cocaine. It was a world away from the affluence of Malibu, where the son of veteran Hollywood actor Martin Sheen grew up. We headed to Easterhouse, the cabbie continued. I love that Glasgow Live has taken so much pain to call this lady a sex worker.
Yeah.
The cab driver has just said, we headed to Easterhouse, and the hooker and the pimp went up to some flat. Eventually the hooker and the pimp came out and handed him a polythene bag with his stuff in it. Charlie dipped his finger in it and said it tasted like sugar. Parting ways with the sex worker and the pimp, Sheen and his friend headed back to the city centre and to the Hilton Hotel where they were staying, but not before causing a scene at an all-night supermarket in Argyle Street, where Sheen stole a packet of biscuits and verbally abused a male shop worker. The shop assistant told the Daily Record, he walked in around 3 a.m. and helped himself to a packet of biscuits. I told him to pay for them, and that would be the end of it. And he just said, hey man, who the fuck do you think you are? The situation became even more tense when Sheen attempted to pay for the biscuits in dollars. When told the store only accepted Scottish pounds, Sheen got angry and asked the man that he didn't think his money was good enough. Sheen is also said to have tried to purchase materials to make crap cocaine. The shop worker said he then threw down his credit card and said, fuck you man, where we come from, we kick the shit out of guys like you. He then apologised, took my hand and said he wanted some more stuff and asked me to help him. He wanted tinfoil, baking soda and a metal teaspoon. To make matters worse for Sheen, the whole fucking situation was captured on CCTV. Fortunately for the Hollywood A-lister, the shop worker decided not to press charges. A few days later, it was reported that Sheen had flown back to LA, where he was recuperating following his night in Glasgow. Yeah, quite a time. Do you remember this happening at the time?
I remember it being massive news, Charlie Sheen in Glasgow, because he was a big star at this point. You know what I mean? It was only like not that long after films like Platoon or Wall Street or even like Navy SEALs and the Hot Shots films and everything else. Yeah. So he was a big star. But to refresh my memory, I just googled stories about Charlie Sheen in Glasgow and Google's AI made a wee list of things, and they've titled what you've just described as the Easterhouse Escapade.
A wonderful title.
It said just to add a little bit to the account in Glasgow Live. It says local accounts noted that he was sold a mixture of sugar and amphetamine instead of cocaine. And an agitated Sheen reported they made a gun shape with a companion's fingers and seriously asked to procure a real firearm to protect himself from being ripped off again, which alarmed his accompanying bodyguard. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to get ahead of what we're going to talk about, but obviously these days it is not uncommon to have Hollywood A-listers in Glasgow, because Glasgow has been used as a set for, well, even like the new Spider-Man film comes out this week, and a lot of scenes were shot in Glasgow. The Flash movie, the Fast and the Furious spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw. They were actually filming that when I was in Glasgow with my daughters in 2018. They were filming the chases around the Merchant City. Yeah. And of course World War Z. Yeah, and The Running Man and Indiana Jones. And and the ill-fated Batgirl film. Yeah, which apparently we might actually see that. Apparently,
oh, really?
Which I'm not surprised. There's no way they're going to just like erase millions of dollars investment.
Just fucking put it on HBO Max or something. It's fine. It'll get an audience. Maybe they've realised because Supergirl was apparently so bad that they're like, okay.
Well, I went to see it with my daughters, and it was fine. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I think the problem with Supergirl is that the character doesn't have the kind of fan base that like a Superman or Batman or Spider-Man has, and I think they've sort of overestimated. I think, because the fact of the matter is not enough girls buy comics. I
guess so. To get back to Charlie Sheen, I don't know, because you've asked AI, and I I read a lot about this as well over the week, and it depends. There's different stories, the different sources you read. Because the story I'd read was that this famous night out, he was out with Gaza. And I'm like, I can see it, but I don't know. And it's right, because Gaza would have been in Glasgow at that time.
It was,
so
yeah.
I'm like, it's not without the realms of possibility that he was out partying with Gaza. And it sounds plausible. So
yeah, it is, for sure. But having someone like that in Glasgow back then was a very rare occurrence. Whereas I know somebody like my cousin maybe who saw Kevin Costner in Glasgow a year or two ago, just like on the other side of the streets. And he was there. And then I saw when I was looking for stories for the Culture Swally that he was in, I don't know, he was just on holiday or something, or they were on his way, but they kind of passing through on his way to the Highlands or something. Chris Pine comes to Glasgow a lot. Comes to Scotland a lot because he enjoyed his time filming the Outlaw King.
A lot of it is outdoors.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. So he apparently comes back quite regularly because he likes the countryside and all that sort of stuff. So it's, we're back in the 90s. It just wasn't, it was so, like, Sheen being there was huge news. Because
I was trying to think if there was something that would be kind of similar today, but there's not, because there's so many Hollywood stars in Glasgow. I mean, the immediate thought I had was it would be like Shia LaBeouf, probably, coming to film in Glasgow and getting into some sorts of trouble. But, we had that last year in Edinburgh. Or the year before with Shia LaBeouf. He wasn't even filming. It was his girlfriend that was filming the Frankenstein film, and he got into trouble. But as we said on that episode, I don't think it was Shia's fault.
He was
people
provoked,
picked on him, and you don't provoke Shia LaBeouf.
No, because he's absolutely crackers.
Yes. That was the closest comparison, because at that time, I mean, we'll speak about it when we're talking about the film, but Charlie Sheen's star was just kind of fading, and it was before he got 2.5 Men, which kind of propelled him. Well, I know actually Spin City kind of propelled him back up.
Yes.
Which was a few years after this, but fading kind of star, but he didn't have huge troubles. So it's not like an Arnie Hammer type thing, but I guess, Shia LaBeouf would probably be the kind of safest kind of bet. Yeah, Charlie Sheen and his little trip in Glasgow, which I think we'll be discussing in more detail shortly. Have you seen anything else this week, buddy?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, right. Well, before we go on to talking about Charlie Sheen some more, let's have a little word from our sponsors.
Yes, there have been other music shops, but none quite on our scale. Bruce Miller's Union Street, the brand new home of home entertainment.
Okay, so it was your turn to choose this week's film. So what are we talking about today? We've kind of given it away already. From the director of Cyborg, Kickboxer 2, The Road Back, and the 1990 Captain America film, comes this charming little film starring Charles Sheen, who plays an American criminal profiler and author, James McGregor from San Francisco, who while hiding from his past in Scotland, drinks a load of booze and gets caught up in a serial killer mystery. Starring Charles Sheen, we'll have to say that, it's Charles Sheen. He's being taken seriously in this film. Gary Lewis, Stephen McCole, Ivana Milicevic, Dave Anderson and Michael Halsey. Postmortem was filmed in Glasgow in 1997 and features Charles Sheen going to Scotland to help the police track down a serial killer who likes to catch young grieving women and send faxes, whilst Charlie drinks in the toll booth, drives around in his Lotus Esprit. Greg, where the fuck did we start with this film? Was this your first time seeing Postmortem? This is the first time that I'd seen it. I'd never seen it before. So, this is a bit of the late 90s are a bit of an odd time for Charlie Sheen. He's obviously become incredibly famous in the mid 1980s with his kind of two films with Oliver Stone, Platoon and Wall Street, really making him a superstar. Then he's kind of gone down the sort of broad comedy routes, doing like Hot Shots and Major League and the Hot Shots.
Major League,
yeah, and the Hot Shots sequel. So this is Charlie Sheen attempting to get back to perhaps a more serious role, much like the roles that made him a star in the early 80s. He's chosen a project by Albert, how are we saying his second name? Pyun, is it? Pyun?
I think, I did watch a video. I think they called him, Pyun.
Yeah.
Or Pyun or something. Yeah, I don't know.
So this is a director who sort of exclusively makes low-budget, what they used to call B-movies, or straight-to-video films, which we often forget that a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme's early movies were straight-to-video, like AWOL and Death Warrant and all that kind of stuff. And obviously he's done Cyborg. Now, I just want to take a second to talk about Albert, because the titles of his films are astonishing. And he's got 100 films almost. Maybe not quite as many as that he's directed. I'm just going to tell you some of my favourite titles of Albert Pyun films. So there's 1985's Radioactive Dreams. There's 1988's Alien from LA. There's 2004's Max Havoc, Curse of the Dragon. 2010's Bullet Face. But my absolute favourite is 1993's Brain Smasher, A Love Story. This is a man who has found what he's good at and is just dug in. So this is the man that Charlie Sheen in the late 90s, who, if you've watched the Charlie Sheen documentary on Netflix, it's common knowledge that Charlie Sheen wasn't doing too well, personally, in the late 90s, for reasons that we've discussed already in the news, and I'm sure we'll discuss more shortly. And he's chosen Albert to be the man to get him taken seriously as an actor again and move away from comedy.
I can only presume that Michael Winner was busy, because
yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's the exact kind of same film career, really. I mean, Albert I think he's quite well known for being like a low budget B movie, straight to video, whatever, just knock it out. I mean, this was filmed in like 12 days. I think Sheen was only on set for 6.
6 days,
6 days on set, and it shows. And I think that, it's crazy, guerrilla kind of filmmaking, just making this film. You could tell that Albert's put a lot of his passion into this film. There's a lot of brooding shots. There's a lot of... But you could also tell it's not made by someone who is Scottish, because there's quite a few lines in this film that are fucking hilarious that we will discuss at length. I guess that this was kind of on the back of stuff like Seven, and it was a bit of a thriller kind of. Was Seven would have been out by this point, I should
Seven
have done research.
Came out in 95. Seven, so I remember watching it on video when I'm in my last year at school.
So Charlie Sheen, or Charles Sheen, as he is known on this pod, he joins a list of random people to pop up on Swally stuff, Greg. So I'm thinking Robert Duvall, Samuel L. Jackson, Ted Danson, Vincent Pastore, Jet Li, Mads Mikkelsen, Max Beasley, Michael Fassbender, Michael Keaton, Jimmy Cricket, Ali McCoist, all been on the pod. I think Charles Sheen joins that elite list of random people that probably just going to have one appearance on the pod, possibly.
Yeah.
So he plays this American kind of ex-cop profiler who's in Glasgow, not quite sure why. He's burnt out and he's just left his family and moved to Glasgow because his surname's McGregor. Did they just want a really Scottish sounding name? Was this just to stress he's Scottish?
It says that he came to Scotland because it's one of the more credible parts of the story. When he's asked, why did you come to Scotland? McGregor, relatives, and he's like, oh, my grandfather came from Scotland. I mean, that's quite plausible. His grandfather could have come from Scotland. You know what I mean? And he's just, and maybe but it's as I say, it's one of the more sort of plausible parts of the storyline, to be honest.
Yeah. So he just thinks, I'm just going to leave. It seems like it's quite a cliched kind of thing. It sounds like he's had a case which has kind of burnt him out.
Yes.
And he's gone off the rails. He's gone on to the drink. He's turned to the drugs. Although we don't see him do any drugs in this, do we? It's just the drink.
No, just drinking.
He likes Glenfiddich a lot.
Glenfiddich.
Glenfiddich, Bardolph Glenfiddich. He's fighting his own demons. He wants to just get through this. All these years of shortbread tins and whiskey has prepared him to come to Scotland and deal with Gary Lewis and Mrs. Mac from Take the High Road. And ends up in this bizarre thriller. So he's chasing this serial killer around Glasgow, and it's just an absolutely bizarre film. I mean, Charles is drinking or smoking in pretty much every scene. Like, it's the very stereotypical, like, it's the mark of a damaged, hard as fuck detective. He just needs nicotine and the right level of alcohol in his bloodstream to keep his focus so he can solve this case.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very original story. You know, I think, and, you know, Albert, because I'm just going to keep calling him Albert because I don't want to keep trying to pronounce his second name. I feel like he thinks that he's trying to make a kind of art house movie. And, you know, maybe there's a little part of him thinking, well, maybe this is my chance to move into the kind of mainstream Hollywood, because here I've got Charlie Sheen, so I'm going to make this really arty film. There's a lot of red light, you know. I think the first time we see McGregor being interviewed by the police in the interrogation room, he's under a red light, like it's you know, like it's like the Soviet Union in the 1950s, and he's been captured by the KGB. And then when he visits the killer's sister in the sanitarium, it's like it's obviously the same room, and they've just taken the desk out and stuck a bed in it. Yeah, with like this red light, and you're like, well, this is supposed to be a place of calm and healing for people who are, you know, like psychiatrically damaged or going through a mental health crisis of some kind. We're going to put them in a bedroom with a red light, like we're trying to develop photographs. You know, it's a really odd, really weird choices taken with some of the production. I did find that with the red light, it was really off-putting. And then when he's speaking to like the pathologist or anything, that's blue light. And it really intense blue light. And you're like, great, I'm sure this is great for picking up spunk, but probably not the best for like a full body examination when you're trying to do a postmortem. The lighting is just bizarre in some places. And I can see, I totally understand what you're saying. This was Albert trying to make like a right art house kind of a real blockbuster film because it's Charlie Sheen. The lighting is there. There's a lot of use of Steadicam in this. And there's bizarre shots. Like at one point, Charles drives his Lotus through the countryside, drives to a castle, and just stands at the top like Batman. Like he drives. That's Loch Ness. Oh well, yeah, of course, yeah. He's driving, yeah, because it's so close, it's just round the corner. He's just standing there brooding, and then he just gets back and comes back and is like, okay, let's do this. But the brooding, like standing there, it's Batman. So was this Charlie's like attempt to? I guess this was Albert tapping into when he did the Captain America film in 1990 and was thinking, I can have another crack at a superhero film. You think Sheen was up against Clooney for Batman and Robin? I think that was a bit... Possibly. You never know. I mean, it's not out with the realms of possibility. It could have been. But yeah, just very, very strange, some of the choices. The choice that Sheen has made to be credited as Charles Sheen, you know, because he wants to be taken more seriously. I mean, at this point, Charlie Sheen is one of the most recognisable actors in the world in the late 90s. Right? He's been in some of the biggest movies of the previous 10 or 15 years. Everybody knows, from your granny to your teacher at school, who Charlie Sheen is. But he thinks he can be taken more seriously if he calls himself Charles Sheen. It's one of those batshit Hollywood in the 90s sort of choices, isn't it? I can see where he was going, though, because he's had his serious roles. Wall Street, Platoon with Oliver Stone. Like you've said, we can see where his career is going to go. Then he's having to do Hot Shots Part 2. Because, don't get me wrong, I went to the cinema to see Hot Shots Part 2. It's fucking brilliant. It's a great film. Yeah, it's a great film. And I had a great time watching that. And then around about the same time, I went to see his brother in Loaded Weapon with Samuel Jackson. And they're great films as well, just what you need. But I wonder if he was trying to, he's obviously trying to reinvent himself as a serious actor. So Charles, I'm no longer Charlie. It's like that. There was a year where I went by Nick rather than Nicky because it felt a bit more grown up. And then I realised I hated it and I like my name Nicky. So, So
I think that's what he was trying to do here, but it just doesn't work because you get people like us taking the piss and saying, oh, he's trying to take himself seriously. Poor Charlie can't do anything right.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you kind of think, well, has he maybe overthought things a bit? Because he's obviously very good at comedy. He's very, very funny. He was very, I remember when Michael J. Fox left Spin City. And, everybody, it's like, that was really a great programme for Michael J. Fox because he had been in a bit of wilderness for a while, hadn't he? His film career had kind of stalled a wee bit. And he obviously started off as a sitcom actor in Family Ties when he was a younger actor, and so he's kind of come back to where he started and really successfully. And I remember when Charlie Sheen was coming in, so I used to really like Spin City, and I was a bit like, Charlie Sheen, because I thought maybe they're going to do what they do in Neighbours, where they just bring in a different actor playing the same character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they used to do that a lot, didn't they, in Neighbours over the years? I think they still do it. Not that watch Neighbours anymore. But he was a completely new character. And really funny, and funny for in different ways to how Michael J. Fox was funny. You know what I mean? He was just really good at comedy. And the first couple of series of 2.5 Men were really good as well. I really liked that when it first started. I think the sort of premise kind of ran out of steam quite early on. After a series or two. I don't know how long you can keep flogging something like that without making some changes, but So, but I don't think. I think he could have quite easily probably taken a smaller part in a film, which wasn't a comedy. You know what I mean? Maybe like some kind of ensemble or something like that, and been fine because he'd already sort of proven that he could be a really good dramatic actor when he was younger.
Yeah.
So, but maybe he couldn't. Maybe his ego wouldn't allow him to take a smaller part in a film. Maybe he had to have his name at the top of the billboard for the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. And I think was it like 3 million? I think he was paid for this. And yeah, you could kind of see he thinks, okay, I'm a big star. I need to be taken seriously. Maybe he did view this as his jump off point for reinvention.
Yeah.
I agree with you on Spin City. I don't think I watched it much when Charlie Sheen was in it. I watched it when Michael J. Fox was in it. And I think probably one of the main reasons I watched it, and to this day, I am in love with Connie Britton. Like, I love Friday Night Lights, she's wonderful in that. And I haven't, occasionally, I think she's in the first series of The White Lotus. That was what got me through the first series of The White Lotus because
she did American Horror Story, the first series as well, didn't she?
Yes, big fan. And it does stem back from Spin City. And yeah, Michael J. Fox, brilliant. But yeah, I think it was what Charlie needed at that time. But this, I don't think it's what he needed. And I think you're right. He could have just taken a smaller part, but I guess his ego wouldn't allow him to do that. He's Charlie Sheen. He's saying to guys in the 24-hour shops off Sauchiehall Street or Argyle Street, like, do you know who I am? Whilst he's trying to buy tinfoil, a spoon and some baking soda. So he's definitely not in the right frame of mind, I think, to make career decisions at this point.
No, I mean, did you watch the documentary about him on Netflix that came out this year?
Was it 2 parts?
I think it was, yeah.
I think I watched the first part and I didn't get round to watching, or I've watched half of it, or did I watch all of it? Can't remember. I've definitely seen bits of it though.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he's very candid about his life. You know what I mean? Very, and they even address remember there was allegations that he supposedly abused Corey Haim on the set of a film that they were in together and all that. And he speaks to all that. He doesn't avoid anything. He's very, very. I mean, he's not very well. He's got like hepatitis, and you'll be shocked to hear, or HIV.
It's got HIV.
Yeah, HIV. Yeah. His dad's on there. I mean, and you feel a bit sorry for Martin Sheen because he's just. I mean, he has got Charlie out of fucking hot water so many times over the years. You know what I mean? And there's all, I think he's been a great actor at times, Charlie Sheen, over the years as well. But I think his dad and his dad's profile really got him the start that he made, because like it's sort of telling that his brother Emilio Estevez uses the Estevez name because like Charlie Sheen's real name is Carlos Estevez. That's the family name, but he took his dad's stage name as a second name. Emilio has kind of gone out to try and become successful on his own without obviously everybody knows now, and he's a fucking spitting image of his dad and the rest of it, you know what I mean? He really is, and I think he's not had, I don't think he's had as successful a career. Like he never got a Platoon or a Wall Street in Me the West of Ez. I mean, I think some of his best roles have been his early stuff, like The Breakfast Club or Young Guns, stuff like that,
Yeah, if I think of Estevez, the first thing I think of is Young Guns.
Yeah.
Then probably The Breakfast Club. And then bizarrely Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah, he's in that for a bit with a beard.
Yeah.
So
I think he's the first guy to get killed, I think.
He gets fucked in a lift, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Not literally, but, he gets killed.
But yeah, I think that he definitely made the different choices in terms of that. And I watched I can't believe this sentence is about to leave my mouth. It's so bizarre. I watched a clip online of Burt Reynolds on Loose Women. It must have been just after Charlie. It was whilst he was going through his tiger blood stuff and being, and it was just after he'd been diagnosed with HIV. Yeah. And I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was either Janet Street Porter or Denise Welsh was asking Burt Reynolds, what do you think about this? And Burt just fucking goes, I don't feel any sympathy for Charlie. He deserves it. And it's like, what? And he's like, he's fucked around and now he's fucked. Well, he didn't say those words on Loose Women, but he's basically said, Charlie's always been, he plays around, he's been warned, he's took the risks and he's paid the price. And I don't have any sympathy for him. And it's like, wow. And you're like, okay, Burt knows something. There's something.
Burt knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, because Burt obviously was around a time with his dad, and there's something they've run in the same circles. They must know. Yeah, Burt knows where the bodies are buried. So to say that was a bit like, holy fuck, on Loose Women. This is lunchtime on ITV.
Yeah. Apocalypse Now almost did his dad in, didn't it? Because he had quite a grueling shoot, and his dad had substance problems at that time as well and stuff, and he had a heart attack on the set of Apocalypse Now, Martin Sheen, when he was in his mid-30s or something. It wasn't he wasn't old. So that sort of tells you the kind of the beat of the drummer that Martin was marching to in the 70s. But the thing is, for all of that, I've always really liked Charlie Sheen, and when I watched the documentary on Netflix, I still really liked him. You know what I mean? He's just really, he really throws his hands up. He doesn't make excuses for his behaviour. He knows that he was completely out of control, that his behaviour was completely unacceptable. If he was guilty about the pressure that it put on his family, his brothers and his mum and dad, if he was guilty about the relation, how it's impacted the relationship with his children, but he just seemed, he's a fucking, he's just, you don't see really any evidence of it in this film because of the character he's playing, but he's a fucking charming guy. He really is.
Do you think he's a bit like, I guess because of the news this week and stuff, but he's a bit like Robbie Williams in a way, in that, you can't help but like the guy for all the stuff he's done, but then is it a case of you're like, none of it's that bad really, so he's done some drugs and some hookers and
it's only hurting himself, all these people are only, Robbie Williams was only hurting himself when he was at his low points with drugs and alcohol. The only thing with Robbie Williams is he does he's like, he's so young, and it's the manager from Take That, and he wasn't really protected when he was a young guy, and this and that and whatnot. And you're like, come on, you know what I mean? You would probably have been doing all that stuff whether you were in Take That or not. You know what I mean? If that's just the way that you're wired, Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that Charlie Sheen would have been doing all the stuff that he did over the years, whether he was a famous actor or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a serial killer in Glasgow, and the police rope in. I mean, Charles Sheen is I should just call him James McGregor, but I think we're just going to call him Charlie Sheen probably throughout the whole of this. Yeah. He is a suspect to begin with, but then gets drawn in to help the police. So the police, Inspector Ballantyne, played by Michael Halsey, Gary Lewis as Wallace, and I'm going to butcher this as well, Ivana Milicevic as Gwen Turner.
who has been in so many. We've watched her in so many things without probably realising it's her.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah,
Yeah,
been in quite a lot of things.
She plays Mads Mikkelsen's girlfriend in Casino Royale. I just found that out today when I was looking at her Wikipedia.
Did not realise that. Wow.
Yeah, she's in tons of things.
Did she attempt a Scottish accent in that, or because it's Irish, but it's all over the place.
It's Irish with more than a dash of Eastern European sprinkled through.
I mean, do you think she was cast because Charlie probably fancied a crack at her and then was promptly told where to go on the first day of filming?
I think that if he has been involved in casting and production, there's a good chance that is the reason, because I can't imagine why you would bring a Bosnian actress in to play a Scottish policewoman when probably for less money you could have got Julie Graham. You could have got Michelle Gomez. You could have got... I mean, the list is endless. She might have been maybe she's been in a relationship with Albert, perhaps, or something like that. I've no idea. I mean, her filmography is crazy. She's in Love Actually. She's one of the attractive women that Chris, what's his name, brings back from America. In Love Actually. Yeah.
That's the time it was okay to do stuff like that, I suppose.
Yeah. So she's done tons of stuff. She's in Banshee, which I never watched, but apparently is quite a successful TV show.
I don't think the script helps her either, because she's got this accent and you would think, okay, just try and say little as possible or stuff, or let's try and get phrases or words. At one point, they're speaking about McGregor, Charlie Sheen, and effectively his alibi, because they think he has committed a murder because there's a dead body of a girl found tied to his gate. Yeah. And it just so happens that night, Charlie has got pissed with a TV presenter and tried it on with her, and she's left, and he ordered a curry. And at one point she says he ordered Indian from a local delivery carry-out service. Now, no Scottish cop is going to say, oh, he got a curry in, or he ordered a curry. Yeah. You don't say he ordered Indian from a local delivery carry-out service. That line takes me out of it. And it's like, okay, what?
So that's a fax at 6:45. Abduction between 8 and 9.
As premeditated as it gets.
Where was McGregor between 8 and 9?
Home. He ordered Indian from a local delivery carry-out service. Delivery boy was there about 8:30.
The kid remembers it. Says he was too pissed, too messed up to drive the half hour it would take him to get to or from Lindisfarnes. Says he was a big spender too. Gave him a tip of 20.
But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't see Gary Lewis saying that, would you?
You wouldn't. Gary Bat-Ears Lewis. Because my big Gary Lewis moment in this is when he knocks over his paperwork. Charlie Sheen, who's in another room, whispers, "It's too late." And Gary shouts, "Is it fuck too late?"
Same address.
It's too late, people.
I got fuck too late!
He's so good in this. He's so good. He's just playing this. He's just playing Gary Lewis, but being this sort of angry kind of cop. There's a great bit where, spoiler alert for best use of swearing, because it just laughed so much. Dave Anderson, my God, I forgot Dave Anderson's one of the cops as well. He says to the office, like, oh, why is he doing this? And Gary Lewis just shouts, because he's a sick bastard.
We also get to see the quite unique Gary Lewis run.
Yes.
A couple of times, because he does have a very distinctive run. There's some good examples of him running in Orphans. There's good examples of him running in Billy Elliot as well, and Gangs of New York, which I watched when I was on holiday for the first time in years and really enjoyed. There's like he's running across George Square to try and prevent a murder.
You say Gary Lewis is the Scottish Tom Cruise?
Yeah, he is the Scottish Tom Cruise. The way he's got a very distinctive run. He runs like Tom Cruise in the sense that you get the impression that he probably can't maintain that speed and that gait for too long, but just long enough to get a good shot. you know?
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, the whole cops just are a great bunch of people. I mean, Michael Halsey is Inspector Ballantyne. Again, his accent's pretty good. I thought I liked it.
That accent could grate cheese.
Well, I mean, at one point he does say, "I'm no going to use that lassie as a piece of cheese." Which is a fucking great line. I love that line of like, Jesus Christ. And so they think Charlie's a suspect, but then he's cleared because they realise another body's found, so it couldn't have been him.
And he's got a good alibi and everything.
He's got a good alibi. He invited this TV to speak about the TV reporter, obviously, that he...
What's her name? Jill St. Reed, is it?
Yes, yeah.
Jill St. Reed.
He must have some sort of power because he's a dick and walks off her TV show, then calls up to apologise and invites her around to his place. Orders a curry, gets pissed, tries it on, falls over, and then when he's arrested and stuff, she calls him up to check he's okay and if he's all right. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. She's not going to phone him. No chance. But unless she's just wanting a story, I guess, is the whole point. But the police, despite all of this, they decide to just take him in, basically give him his own office and kind of lead the operation. Like, despite the fact that he is an absolute kind of piss artist who is just drinking himself to, into a stupor, but they think, no, he's the guy that's going to help us. While the rest of the team have to make do with this cramped office, but he's got his own office.
Did you notice who Jane St. John is played by?
You know something, I didn't actually, and I meant to look that up. Who is it?
She's played by the same actress who plays Detective Inspector Jim Taggart's daughter, Alison.
I did recognise her, but I was like, I need to look up who she is, and I've totally forgot right now. But okay, so that's Taggart's daughter. Oh,
Taggart's daughter, yeah.
Nice.
The actor's name is Lee Biaggi.
Ah, okay. Now, I did like there are lots that you spoke about there, the shots of like running through George Square. The geography of Glasgow needs a lot to be desired in this film because they're all over the place in different places, but how nice was it to see bits of Glasgow you don't often see in films?
I mean they're using a building on St. Vincent Street as a police station, but I don't really understand why every time they shoot it, they have the public toilets right at the front of the frame.
Yes, I know. It's so strange. There's a lot. Just weird bits in this film. There's a great point where Sheen parks his Lotus outside the Alliance in Leicester. Yeah. And across the road, you can see a proper Glasgow bobby holding back the traffic so they don't get in the way of filming. Yeah. And when they're running through George Square, there's just crowds of people watching them.
Yeah, they obviously couldn't afford to shut the street off.
Yeah. So a kind of guerrilla filming, I think, in a way. It's bizarre. It's lovely to see Glasgow. I'm sure there's like one point they're running and there's a woman taking a photo of them.
Yeah, I think there is.
Know, and this was before camera phones, so she's taken out her camera to take a photo of Charlies Sheen and Gary Lewis running through George Square. Fucking brilliant.
It's just like all these kind of bemused shoppers and things who are, just sort of hanging about or just kind of in town doing a bit of shopping or whatever, and there's the cast of Postmortem led by Charlies Sheen running through the Glasgow Central Station and tackling somebody, and I mean it's great seeing somewhere that you know intimately, and to give them their due, although like the geography doesn't, if you know the city, the geography doesn't make sense. But it doesn't really, because most people who watch Postmortem probably have never been to Glasgow, right? So it doesn't make any odds. But, Charlie Sheen, apparently, by the virtue of the fact that he drives a Lamborghini, can park absolutely anywhere, including right on the high street outside the Tollbooth Tavern, right on Sucky Hall Street, right outside the Shack. Like, he can park absolutely anywhere. And he parks outside the Tollbooth Tavern. Yeah. Apparently, he's running a tab that he's not paid for days, which is perhaps the most unbelievable part of this film. It's not like putting money over the bar every time he has a he has a dram, and he's just parked outside, and he's inside, and they've made the toll booth. I don't know if it's probably because it's an old pub. It's probably a wee bit dark anyway. They haven't bothered to light it. They only seem to, because it's sort of Charlie Sheen's sort of disembodied pale face. All you see, and he's sitting, the scene where he's sitting at the bar reading through the files. I'm thinking you can't see a fucking word on those files. It's far too dark. He's become best mates with Manny, the bartender, who's just gives him credit. This American guy who parks his Lamborghini outside, never pays for his drinks.
I did have a few questions about the toll booth, that being, one, his local, and two, that he just parks his Lotus outside, that he's obviously so friendly with the barman, and that he's run up a tab. And there's like the scene when the reporter comes in to ask him about the story and offer him money, and Sheen punches him, and the barman's just like, do you want a taxi? Like, no, like, oh, come on, out. You know, you've started fights. It's just like this happens. Oh, fuck's sake. McGregor's punched another one. Okay. You want a taxi? Aye, okay. No bother. Right, you, out.
It's okay, I've got the Lambo outside.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental, his trip around Glasgow. And just another strange choice. It is obviously like, well, he's a hardened drinker. He needs to have like a place that he goes to. He can't go to Loch Ness all the time and stand there brooding. He needs someone. He needs a bar or something. Oh, the toll booth. That's a great place. Okay, let's do the toll booth. Yeah. So yeah, that's just his local. It's great.
Why not? I like the other bit of geography that I like, the liberty they took with. So we're expected to believe that the Statler's family home was the St Vincent Street Free Church in Glasgow, which is what that building is. And obviously towards the end of the film, McGregor corners the killer. He runs out the back straight into the necropolis.
Yeah, I did like that. I was like, wow, this family must have been fucking, there's a lot of money in funerals, because this family were loaded if they were able to afford all of that. It's incredible.
I mean, the council tax in that house alone would be fucking astronomical, even in the 90s.
I think we've reached the point then we can speak about the killer, Stephen McCole. What a year McCole had in 1998. I'd looked up his IMDb. I mean, Stephen McCole, friend of the pod, he's commented a few times. Stephen, we fucking love you. 1998 for Stephen McCole. So a couple of years previously, he'd done The Crow Road, which was his first kind of thing. Like, it was his first credit on IMDb. Yeah. Then in 1998 alone, he pops out, My Name is Joe, Postmortem, The Acid House, The Young Person's Guide to Becoming a Rock Star, Orphans, and Rushmore, all in 1 year. Holy fuck, Stephen McCole was hot property in 1998.
Yeah, he was. And I wonder, because, like, I mean, I've never seen Rushmore, but I'm told, have you seen it?
No, I've never seen it, and I don't know why I've never seen it either. It's like Bill Murray, it's Wes Anderson, it's Steve McColl's in it, Jason Schwartzman. Why have I never watched Rushmore? I don't know. Never seen it. Don't know why.
I need to watch it. But yeah, he's, I just sort of expected him to really, you know, to kind of maybe follow people like Ewan McGregor and James McAvoy and stuff in terms of that kind of profile. But when he comes on, like, so his first scene in this is when he's sort of infiltrating the funeral and he's talking to the mourners. And the level of acting really goes up when he's on. I mean, he plays the part really, really, really well. Because, and I don't think he's necessarily got an awful lot to work with as an actor. I know they show some flashbacks of young George, you know, perving on the dead woman in the, but I don't really. I really feel like he's just sort of made this character, and he's not like a kind of raving mad bastard. You know what I mean? No. He's genuinely sort of creepy and sort of calculating. And the only thing that they don't make clear, unless I've completely missed it, is why McGregor gets that first fax with the details of the girl. Because he doesn't get all the other faxes go to the police station after that.
No, I think that's once the police get involved, because I think it's the second or third fax. It comes through McGregor's at his house, but the police have installed a separate fax machine, and you see a policeman take the fax out of McGregor's one and put it in the other fax machine to send it to the police station.
Right.
Why they needed that second fax, I don't know. He could have just ripped it out and sent it in Charlie's fax, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it is clear why he's sent it to McGregor.
No.
And why he's left. But there must be something against him, because he leaves the first body at his gate. And then the second body, again, it's not clear. That's in the doorway of the toll booth, isn't it? It's in the doorway of a pub.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. I presumed it was the toll booth because, and then it's not clear. Is that the TV presenter that wakes up and the dead body's in her chair in her bedroom? So he's targeting McGregor for some reason, but it was never made clear to me. I'm glad it wasn't just me that completely missed it, because, very odd choice. I don't know, but he's obviously targeted him for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not clear. They don't make it clear. Maybe they had to cut Maybe they had to cut it down. Maybe there was some more. There's a few more scenes that would have explained it a bit better. But yeah, it's just. There's just a couple of things that just don't really go anywhere, you know? There's
a few things like that. But yeah, to speak about McCole, as you were saying, his performance is great in this. You're right. The level of acting does go up. He doesn't have a lot to do, but he's great in the parts he does. And he comes across as this kind of charming guy when he's at the funeral, and you can see that he's weeding his way in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very strange, very nice. And yeah, the climax, obviously, running through the graveyard, and he, ends up topping himself because he doesn't want Charlie to get him. I guess the motivation seemed to be that his dad had sold the family business, and he's, I guess, fascinated by dead bodies, and he just wants to carry on his work. And, rather than get a job at another funeral parlour, which you'd think would be the sensible thing to do, he's meeting young women and killing them and, embalming them.
He's a sort of necrophiliac, right? I mean, there's this scene where he has a wee cuddle with a dead woman, but he keeps his boxers on, so maybe they never say that he's having sex with the dead women, but just that he's snuggling up with them.
Yeah, they make pains to stress none of these bodies have been sexually assaulted, which makes it all the more confusing. So he is just, embalming them and away with them. Very strange character, but a great character in terms of the killer. But I would have minded seeing a bit more of him. I guess they were trying to keep him in the darkness. Much like John Doe in Seven. Yeah. I think keep him in the darkness until the big reveal. And okay, that works in Seven. She's like, oh, fuck, it's Kevin Spacey. And, although he wasn't a huge star back then, but it was on the back of The Usual Suspects and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say,
But I still, it was great for us because it's like, Steve McCole. I knew it was, but it was still nice. But there was something lacking about that character. There's a lot of weird, unfinished stuff in this. There's one point, you see the pathologist. For no apparent reason, he enters the main investigation office with a half-eaten egg sandwich. And he's waving it in the face of one of the detectives. And then Charlie Sheen comes back in minutes later, and he's still eating the same sandwich.
But he offers a bite of it to somebody, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
It's almost finished. Yeah, it's so weird.
There's a lot of random stuff, like when he goes to see the sister in the Dumbarton mental hospital, like, it's so strange. He's just stood there in the red light room watching her, and she just glances over at a photo, and he's like, oh, great, I know where to go.
Yeah.
Did she actually tell him something? Or was he in that dream? Or, so unclear. And I guess it was meant to be some sort of significant or symbolism, but it just lost me. I was like, how does he know where to go?
A scene that I thought was very poor is it's the scene where with the girl who works in the kilt shop, and she's walking to her car. Yeah. Her boyfriend appears. He's got, even though it looks like quite a nice dry day in Glasgow, he's got an umbrella up. Yeah. Just to make any odds. The police get there. They think he is George, the killer, so they grab him. In the meantime, what's the big actor's name? Michael Halsey. He walks the girl over to her car. Yeah, and he, for some reason, she looks down. She sees McCole's in the back of a car. McCole stabs him through a car window.
The window's down, though.
Oh, was it? Oh, I didn't realize the window was down. But before that, the girl's boyfriend's like, I want to show you something in my car.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the 90s were a bit different, but surely that is alarm bells. I want to show you something in my car.
Again, it's not clear because he says that, I want to show you something in my car. And then when Valentine is speaking to her, she says, I've known him for years. I've known him since we were kids.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But then when she's in the kilt shop and she's speaking to the old woman, she says, I've got a date with Johnny Octopus, Mr. Hands. And the old woman just laughs and says, oh, go home early so she can go and meet the man who's sexually assaulting her.
Go and get felt up. Go on.
Yeah. Oh, go on. But the way she's like, oh, I've known him for years, since we were kids. But yeah, she called him Johnny Octopus.
You've got a date tonight, haven't you?
Yes, with Johnny Octopus. Mr. Hands.
Well, off you go.
Are you sure?
We're pretty quiet.
Oh, thanks very much.
Enjoy yourself.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that whole bit was bizarre. It was a nice little, it's almost like, oh, we need to get a jump scare in. So we'll have McCole lying in the back seat of a car with the window open, and we're just going to stab him through the heart, and then he's just going to get out the car and run away whilst all the cops are in the area, but only Charlie runs after him and then loses him in the train station.
And he also, McGregor seems to be the only one who gives a fuck that Valentine's been killed. The rest of the police are just another day at the office. Get on with it, apart from Dave Anderson. I mean, the thing is as well, like Dave Anderson's only got a couple of scenes, but he is solid. There's a reason why you hire Dave Anderson, right? The sheriff and the procurator Fisco are coming over. I'm under fire here. You're out.
Yeah, no, he's perfect. He's absolutely perfect. That the way he basically says to him. But then they go to great lengths to show you Sheen picking up, I presume it's Dave Anderson's warrant card, because it says Police Scotland. They wouldn't issue Charlie with one.
No.
But we don't see that being used later on or to any effect. Also, he doesn't look much like Dave Anderson, so the photo wouldn't pass. But I don't know. There was a lot of stuff like that. We see this. Okay, where's this going? Nowhere. Just, I don't know why he needed that ID so desperately. Was it to get in somewhere? Like, oh, fuck no.
But then to your point, it's a 12-day shoot, right?
Yeah.
So they are on the hoof.
Yeah, because there's quite a few scenes where I'm like, right, the scenes with a Lotus driving, I'm like, well, Charlie wasn't there, obviously. The scene, like, when you have Valentine's funeral at the very end, and there's a piper, and all, I mean, first of all, it wasn't clear to me. I was like, whose funeral's this?
Yeah.
Is this Stephen McCole's funeral? I'm like, oh no, it'll be Valentine, of course. But we've never, see that he's actually dead, but you're like, well, he did get stabbed through the heart, so probably. But Charlie's just standing on the top of the mountain or the hill looking cool down at the funeral. And you're like, right, I don't think that's Charlie. I think it was a close-up filmed of him, but that's not Charlie. 2, what's cooler than standing on top of the hill, Charlie? Going to the actual fucking funeral. Paying your actual fucking respects and not standing at the top of the hill smoking and getting in your Lotus and fucking off somewhere. No, we don't want that. Yeah, just bizarre. Why... Did you get on board with the fact that McCole has an underground lair that he is preparing his victims in?
With steam coming out of it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's...
And he just leaves the door open as well, so Charlie can come in.
Yeah, and he doesn't make any attempt to stealthily enter. His shoes are clicking all the way down the fucking corridor.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would have used to film that. Maybe they built a set or something for it, but... It was difficult to get on board with a lot of this film. Like after about half an hour, I thought, I'm just going to fucking enjoy the ride here. It's.
But that's a valid point, Greg. Did you enjoy the ride? Did you enjoy Postmortem?
I mean, for the reason I watched it, I enjoyed it. If I had gone to see this at the cinema in 1998, I'd probably have felt a bit cheated, to be honest, when I came out, because it's it has some good moments, but it's not a good film. What I mean? It's really not.
I agree with you. I think I'm the same. Like I did enjoy it. I had to because of why we'd watched it though. I think when I was typing up my notes and thinking back, I'm like, you know what? It wasn't that. I mean, it was bad. but it could have been worse. And because of things like Gary Lewis, Stephen McCole, Dave Anderson, they kept me going. Take them away, and yeah, it probably wouldn't be as enjoyable. And plus the fact it was set in Glasgow and you had all the kind of stuff that we recognise and things, and but yeah,
it was nice getting all those sort of reminders of like stuff that was prominent or popular in the kind of mid to late 90s. Like there's a scene, the scene on the platform in the train station when he runs past the bar, and there's a big like Rolling Rock mural on the window, and I was like, that's right. Bars used to treat Rolling Rock like it was a serious beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, somebody must have put a lot of money in the Rolling Rock marketing budget in the late 90s, because I remember it just like those bottles were all over the place, and it was not good. It was horrible. Even for a North American beer, it was fucking horrible.
I remember quite liking Rolling Rock, but that's because it was one of the first beers I was drinking.
Right.
It must have been just as it came out.
Yeah.
And I remember being like 13 and having a bottle of Rolling Rock. And I know it was still prominent when I was at Daytona because I had a load of Rolling Rock ice buckets and stuff in my bedroom, and just stuff I'd stolen from Daytona. All this Rolling Rock merchandise and stuff just went in the back of my car.
We used to sell it at Frankie's, and I remember we had to have a display on one of the high shelves of Rolling Rock bottles, and I had to every week when I would dust the shelf, I would have to try and think of like another original way of arranging these fucking Rolling Rock bottles.
Lovely days. But yeah, it was a nice kind of reminder of those times. You're right. And just nice to see a little bit of a kind of step back in Glasgow of that time, 97, and just see the trends, the fashions, the cars, all that stuff. It's always lovely.
I mean, for both of us, maybe for me a wee bit more, just because I'm a little bit older. Like this was the time of me becoming an adult. You know what I mean? I was almost 20 years old when this film came out, and you know, I'd been long gone from home, supporting myself. You know, so seeing all those little, obviously doing a lot of things then that I don't do now, like going out to the pub 4 or 5 nights a week, 6, 7 nights a week sometimes, and just, you know, spending all my money on things that I didn't need and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just to sort of see Glasgow then, and you know, the kind of landscape has changed a wee bit, especially when Ballantyne and McGregor are having the sort of come to Jesus chat in George Square in front of the War Memorial. I don't know why Charlie would be looking at the fucking War Memorial to inspire him to try harder. But but like, you know, the Queen Street station is different now because did you see it when we were there? Like, it's all new. It's a big glass. You would have saw it when you came off the train coming from Edinburgh.
Yeah, we went to Queen Street. So I was like, oh, this is all changed. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas it used to be sort of, it was sort of hidden Queen Street a little bit, you know, that entrance anyway. It was very subtle, and so you sort of see it over Charlie's shoulder in that scene. So I was trying to get my bearings of exactly where they were, and at first, not where they were, but what angle they were shooting from. Then, you know, they're shooting over towards Millennium Hotel and Queen Street, but it's Queen Street as it was. I mean, you know, I happen to think it looked better the way it was, you know what I mean? But I'm sure it probably did need a bit of a restoration, because it was kind of crumbling a bit, Queen Street, even back then, and that was about 20 years before they fucking did anything to it. So, but yeah, so like I enjoyed that, and you know, I think, as far as B movies go, I mean, it's not a terrible film. You know, there's so some of the acting, I mean, they've got some great actors in it. Like, seeing Gwyneth Guthrie was brilliant, because as a kid, I grew up watching Take the High Road with my mum, and she was Mrs. Mac, like a very prominent character. But Gwyneth Guthrie was playing Mrs. Mac older than Gwyneth Guthrie. You know, she was, and I remember seeing her being interviewed and being like, oh my God, is that Mrs. Mac? And she, and I met, I don't know if there's any Take the High Road fans that listen to the podcast, but I seem to recall a storyline in Take the High Road when Mrs. Mac went off for some reason. I can't remember. She was away for a few weeks. The character had left Glendarach for a few weeks. And her sister came, who was also played by Gwyneth Guthrie. And that she was more playing the age that Gwyneth Guthrie was, and she was really nice. And Mrs. Mac was always a bit of a nasty. She was the kind of Mrs. Mangle, Ina Sharples type character of Take the High Road. And I could be completely misremembering this, but I seem to recall they had a scene with both characters as Mrs. Mac was returning and the sister was leaving. But of course, they're having to shoot whoever's not talking from the back, and it's another actor made to look like the character from the back. So yeah, but I could be completely misremembering that. But I don't think I am. I don't think I am. But yeah, I always really liked Gwyneth Guthrie, and I think the reason I liked her so much was because, in reality, she was completely different to the Mrs. Mac character. She always seemed like a really nice woman and friendly and funny and all that kind of stuff. And you see a bit of that, although she's not in this film very much. She makes the most of quite a small part.
Yeah, no, it's always lovely. It's a part of our childhood, though.
Yeah,
like when she popped up, I'm like, oh, it's Mrs. Mac, and she'll always be Mrs. Mac, of course, to us. But wow, yeah. And of course, I was like, it's a blink and you miss it as well from Rab Affleck.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Rab? Oh, fuck, it is. Yeah. Great. Good to see him. But no, it was lovely to see Gwyneth Guthrie telling our young staff member to go out and get Mr. Hands.
Get interfered with.
But no, you're right. Something, as we've said, it's not awful. It's like, if you've ever wondered what would happen if you made like a low budget version of Seven or Silence of the Lambs or something, or took away the good cast and the writing and shot the film in 12 days in Glasgow with a coked up Charlies Sheen, and I've got the perfect film for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting film to watch because, although he's maybe not as well known as he was back then, this is like an A-list Hollywood star running around the streets of Glasgow, The scene where he's talking to the guy who is supposed to be down on his luck outside.
Yeah.
And what would how would you describe George? In a word, very strange. Mate, that's 2 words, mate.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
I was just reading, sadly, Gwyneth Guthrie is no longer with us. She passed away in 2021. I didn't know that. Oh, it's a bit of a downer.
That's a shame. Yeah. Poor Mrs. Mac. I mean, we'll discuss her probably at length when we're doing our Take the High Road episode.
Yeah. Tell you what, it could be coming soon.
Well, yeah, there was still soap special. Was it River City, Garnock Way, and Take the High Road would threaten to do at one point, so maybe coming soon.
We should do a Scottish soaps special episode where we just talk through them.
I think, we will. Probably when River City's last episode's airing, which I think is in a couple of months.
October, I believe.
Okay.
It's October, yeah. So do you want to put...
Well, then...
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just thinking, October's perfect. We'll do it for the Swally Soap-tacular.
Anyway,
let's put it through the awards then. Right, let's go for it.
This that fax that Charlie gets, like how to guarantee that 1990s Charlie Sheen never ever calls you. Send him a fax that says "Call me when you're sober." Never hear from him again. Right, so our coveted Swally Awards, whereby for new listeners we have like just over a handful of categories that we like to put what we watch through. The first category is the Bobby the Barman award for the best pub. I mean, we only get to see one pub, but it's an absolute belter of a pub, the Tolbooth Tavern in Glasgow. Very famous. Oh, yeah. Very, very famous pub on the corner of the High Street and the Salt Market. Parking is not available right outside the pub, despite what the Postmortem tries to lead you to believe. But yeah, it's a grand old pub. Next award then, the James Cosmo Award for being in everything Scottish.
There's a load of options here. I mean, who did you go for?
I've gone for the triple. I've got Lewis, Anderson, Affleck.
Okay, yeah. I have gone for a triple, but I've gone with Lewis, Anderson, McCole. but you're right.
Oh,
Affleck.
look, yeah, McCole.
I kind of didn't include Rab purely because it's a blink and you'll miss it kind of role. Whereas Lewis, Anderson and McCole have got a bit more. But yeah, I mean, McCole, he's top. I haven't put the Swally tally up. He's top of the Swally tally, I think. And yeah, McCole just seems to be, although I think we've done most things he's been in. But yeah, any of the 3 or 4 would work with me, I think. Yeah, so it's good for that.
I mean, he's got such a sort of storied and unusual career, Rab Affleck, because you know, he was in The Big Man, right, where he has and that came out quite a good few years before this came out, and he has a full-on fight with Liam Neeson at the end, right? That's the kind of reckoning. And if you look at it, so you'll have like the Big Man. He plays Cutty Dawson, right? His character's got a name. He's in a Screen One, which is a bit of a Play for Today thing that came afterwards, where he plays a character called Bungalow. Right? So I don't know what it was, but it's obviously oh no, I'll tell you what that was. That was Down Among the Big Boys. He plays Bungalow. Yeah. He was in Bad Boys. He's in My Name Is Joe as lorry driver. He's in Postmortem as chaperoning officer. Then he's in Young Person's Guide Becoming a Rock Star as Mr. McNasty. You know what I mean? He's just he's got a blink and you'll miss it part in Gangs of New York, much like Ford Kieran, but he's just there for a second. He's in Layer Cake as Mickey. He's got a good part in Layer Cake. You know what I mean? It's just he's in Alexander. He's in Stardust as a pirate. He's done a Doctor Who. He was in He's in the Outlaw King as well, where he's got a pretty like a reasonable part in that. He's just and he's so distinctive looking. I mean, he just looks hard as fuck, doesn't he?
He's just this big lad with a big, usually a moustache or beard, but big unit, Rab Affleck, but instantly recognisable and just lights up every time he comes on. It's Rab. Yeah,
if you need like a fucking hard bastard or somebody who looks like a hard bastard, I think Affleck's phone is the one that will ring.
Yeah.
Right. Next one then is the Jake McQuillan Your Tease Out Award for a film about serial killer, not a lot of violence.
No, there's a couple, but I did go with him punching the reporter in the toll booth and the barman just asking if he wants a taxi. Yeah, that was a good one. I'd forgotten about that one actually. I put Valentine Getting Plunged by Stephen McCole. Yeah, so it was quite unexpected. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and really unexpected that. So that was good. I liked that.
The next award then is our Francis Begbie Award for gratuitous swearing. It's not too sweary, but when it is, it's great.
I've said already, I went with the Dave Anderson asks, why is he doing it? And Gary Lewis says, because he's a sick bastard. There's at one point, I think they find a body, and I don't know, I can't remember who it is. I think it's Gary Lewis, just goes, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's like... What did you go for?
Well, I mentioned it already, but I went with Gary Lewis shouting, is it fuck too late? When he hears McGregor whispering, it's too late.
Same address.
It's too late, people.
I got fuck too late!
Next award then is our Ewan McGregor Award for gratuitous nudity. I mean, all the victims are naked. I don't know if you could call it gratuitous as such. Because
I think we do see quite a lot of Lady Garden shots that were unnecessary.
It does kind of feel like it's in service to the story, though. Yeah. You know, it's kind of important. But yeah, there's a lot of naked ladies in Postmortem. Next award then is our archetypal Scottish moment.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't think there was a huge amount here. I mean, I went with the bagpiper at the funeral.
Yes.
I went with Sheen being called McGregor.
Yeah.
There's obviously the Glenfiddich.
Yeah.
What did you go for?
I went with hard to catch serial killers.
There's a good Bible John
Bible
kind
John,
of feeling there.
Peter Tobin, Peter Manuel. I mean,
I'd go.
Ian Brady. You know.
That's true. It was difficult to catch. We've got Dennis Nielsen as well. Of course. Yeah. We do have a good lineage of hard to catch serial killers. You're right.
And then the final award then is our Big Tam, the Sean Connery Award. Who is the winner of Postmortem for you?
Oh, I struggled. I kind of did, because I can't give it to Charlie Sheen. I can't. Charles Sheen, sorry. I'd like McCole's not in it. No, I've given it to Gary Lewis.
I gave it to Stephen McCole just because I thought he's taken it seriously, and if there's a good part, Gary Lewis is taking it seriously as well. I mean, Gary Lewis is kind of. I want to be careful what I say here, because, like I've said before, I've met Gary Lewis twice before, and I found him to be a really, 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 really nice, gracious guy. But back then, it kind of has sort of two speeds. It's kind of like Joe's mate, my name is Joe, kind of quiet, funny, blah, 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 or he's a bit fucking mad and quick to anger. Yeah. So there's this... Billy Elliot's dad. He gets very emotional in Billy. If he gets very emotional indeed, Billy Elliot's dad. Gangs of New York as well was McGroin, who used to be an Irishman, according to Daniel Day-Lewis's character. He's great in that. He's just fucking mad as fuck. Gangs of New York.
I think McCole is great in this. When I was watching McCole on screen, I'm thinking, oh, great, okay, I'm invested. When Gary Lewis is on screen, it's usually as part of the ensemble, and I'm purely watching Gary Lewis to see what he's going to do. Because I know he's going to throw something, slam down papers, there's going to be a for fuck's sake or something. I just want to see that. So I think that's why I've given it to Gary Lewis. Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, I can get on board with Gary. I've always get on board with Gary Lewis. I think, he's, as time has gone on, he's been given parts that have shown, much more of the range he's got as an actor. I know it's like he's pretty good in. Not that I've only watched the first couple of episodes of Outlander. It didn't really hold my attention, although the lady in it is very attractive. So if you'd like to watch Postmortem, and I recommend you do, you can find it certainly outside the UK. It's available on Netflix. Sometimes I've gone in here before and said that things are available on Netflix and they're not available on Netflix in the UK. I think Netflix is a bit more regulated in the UK than it is overseas, but if you're outside the UK, you can definitely get it on YouTube. What did I say? Netflix? YouTube.
Netflix, yeah. I didn't realise it was on Netflix. I watched it on YouTube.
It's not on Netflix. I said Netflix by mistake. It's YouTube.
Okay.
I meant to say YouTube.
Wow. I watched it on YouTube, and it's perfectly, good version.
Yeah,
so it's fine if you want to get your Postmortem on. Mm-hmm. Well, that was my choice, Greg. So why don't you tell us what we're going to be talking about on the next episode of the Culture Swally?
Well, I've gone for something perhaps not that well known, I think. I mean, I was kind of aware of it because from reading about Scottish drama and some of the, and research that I've done for various things for the podcast and stuff. But I have dipped into the rich and deep well of the BBC television drama series Play for Today, and I have gone for one that was first broadcast on the 21st of November 1974. It's an old one, written by Roddy McMillan, The Bevelers, which you would be pleased to know is a 78-minute single play set in a Glasgow glass workshop. So I've never seen it. I'm anticipating a little bit of Slab Boys vibes. The story is a 16-year-old apprentice named Norrie Beaton starts his first day at a glass bevelling workshop. He faces harsh conditions and conflicts with his older colleagues. I found it on you a while ago. You sent me a link to an archive with all the plays for today. That's where I found it.
Okay, great.
So yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it. I've never heard that. It sounds great. I'm getting kind of Slab Boys crossed with the Silly Season, but just purely because that was in a bottle plant, not the whole communist and affair and stuff, but or painting naked ladies on toilets. But yeah, just because it's in a bottle plant, I guess. Oh, great. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks, buddy. Okay. All right. So on the next episode of the Culture Swally, what's it called again?
The Bevelers. B-E-V. Yeah. Think of the Levelers spelt wrong. And if you search for it on Google, there's a good chance that Google will think that you're looking for the Levelers.
Okay. Yeah. I never look for the Levelers. Fucking stinky fiddling playing cunts. Okay, great. The Bevelers on the next episode of the Culture Swally. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you enjoyed us speaking about Charles Sheen. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can. You can email us, cultureswally@gmail.com, with anything you've seen in the news or anything you'd like us to cover, or if you just want to say hello. And Greg, we have a wonderful website as well, don't we?
We do. You can find us at cultureswally.com. For links to all their episodes, all 158, including this one episodes, which is crazy, and some blog posts and articles about Scottish television and film.
I will write a blog post, Greg. I've put it on my to-do list because I want to write one for the website, and I know what I'm going to write it on.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'll get started, and I'll try and pick something about this to dovetail in to that. So I'm putting it on record here so that I do it, because I will do it. And I'm looking forward to writing it because it's something I'm passionate about, but we'll see how long that takes. Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Brilliant. Right. Are you up to anything exciting today, buddy? It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. I thought I was going to have to cook a Sunday roast, which is why I asked if we could do this at 12 o'clock my time, so they give me time to cook said roast. But my wife has said, maybe we can just go out, or maybe we'll just order a Sunday roast to be delivered, because my oldest daughter is going out and there's no point cooking a big roast for just three of us. So that's I don't plan on doing very much because I've been quite busy. I'm back to work tomorrow, so I just want to sort of chill out a bit today and then get back into it tomorrow.
Lovely. Very good. Oh, well, cool. Well, I'm off to go and edit this and watch the Bevelers, but and catch up on the Commonwealth Games, of course.
Indeed.
Lovely. Right. Well, okay then, buddy. Until next time.
Winnie.
Well, every new missing persons report for females has to include the names of all immediate family members. So far, nothing on this new one.
How could we make use of this?
Well, on the last one, we had a window of 2 or 3 hours, but even if we wanted to, we couldn't have put out a news bulletin. What could we say? If your father's Henry and your sister's Heather, you could be dead, be careful. This bugger would just strike elsewhere.
Why is he doing it?
Because he's a sick bastard.